Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're talking more about the buyout situation, the feeding frenzy that is eating up all the reserve list cards at this point. It's not ending. It is getting crazy out there. Stay tuned. It's coming up next. Hey guys, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. If you're new to the channel and you somehow found me out there in YouTube land, well, hey, thanks a lot for tuning in. Glad to have you join in the fun. All right, guys, guess what? We're talking about the new highs, the feeding frenzy that continues in the buyout. It's not over. It just keeps going. And we get to see the results of that as we tune into this channel and take a look at some of these cards today. Now, before I get started, I want to mention I had somebody on this channel had mentioned about Pendril Mists, okay? And I did end up getting a few copies today in the mail. Now, Pendril Mist acts like Tabernacle at Pendavale, but it's funny how it was like, I bought my copies for 14 bucks and they're already going up, right? I just wanted to have some of this because I never even knew this card existed. It's from Weatherlight. And I was like, wow, like that's crazy that this card is that cheap still. So I went ahead and grabbed some. But don't forget, whenever you get cards in of any significant value, always make sure you have your jeweler's loop, your way of checking, make sure cards are real and vetted. If you have questions about that, you can hit me up. I'll always be happy to help you guys out. If you're not sure about a card, no problems. Whatever. Now, the other thing is I keep cards in my background. Just some of my collection stuff. Some I've had for a while. Some of them I just bought recently. Now, these ones are all bought, except for the Emerald. These were all bought in 2020, like around between September and December. All these, okay? This was bought a couple years ago. And on the back, I usually keep my prices so I know what I paid. So, in this case, the Emerald 3 years ago was 700 bucks. Okay, I paid for that in toonies, by the way. That's right. Now, the really beat up Sapphire here, that was $2,000 I paid. And then you've got Library of Alexandria, and I paid $1,100 for that. And then, of course, I know, Sanctum wanted it for my Commander deck. I had to save for this because I didn't really have the money. I saved up, and I paid $190 for this, okay? Which is kind of interesting. We're going to go over that today. Because what's happening right now is, although all these cards are being sold and being bought, what we're seeing is the fact that as these cards go up, they're hitting new highs. And cards that were never really considered, or just kind of a little bit of a janky kind of fun card, they're going up as well. And even people on this channel, when we had a little fun, and we decided to pick a card to start buying out as a team here, as a collective, it is going up, which is hilarious that we can affect the market that way, and you can see it going up on MTG stocks and Goldfish and TCG players. So we'll go over that today. It's kind of exciting to see. But I've talked to you guys last week and the week before that a lot of what's happening, we haven't had the chance to see the results of. Okay? It's just happening so fast. So I can't follow every card in every situation. For those of you who are emailing me or asking questions in the comment section or my patrons, when you do that, I'm following those, I'm hitting those up, and I'm taking a look whenever I get the chance, okay? But as most of you know who have been on this channel a long time, I do have my regular 9 to 5 job. Like I work 12-hour days. And then I do this on the side. So it does take a lot of time. I get as much time as I can in to do all this for you guys, and I will always try to be there because it's fun and I enjoy doing it. For those who asked about my Patreon, okay, if you join my Patreon, you'll see there's not a lot of slots left right now. I'm not expanding at this point because the people on my Patreon get the giveaway stuff, because I actually don't use the Patreon money unless I need to buy gear. I put it back into prizes and stuff for my patrons. So I basically just pull the money back in and keep some aside for taxes at the end of the year. So those of you who asked, yes, you can join my Patreon if you can find any slots open. You go ahead and you can hit that up. But you'll see there's only a couple of expensive slots and a few, maybe 1 or 2 when people opt out at the end of a month. But the giveaways are back on for March, unless you're one of the higher tiered guys. In that case, I'll see you Sunday for the live stream. All right, so this is kind of exciting, guys. There's a few cards today which just were blowing my mind when I checked in the last couple of days, and some I was so unready for that I just didn't know what to do. I'm like, I am so putting this in the video. It was wicked to see. All right, so our first card today I want to talk about, right, is going to be Sanctum, because I just showed you I paid $190. But when you look here, look at those sold listings. It's like $345, $341, $281, okay? And they're all around the 25th, 27th, right, of January. Okay, now look at what's available. The other ones that were non-English were around the 250 to 300, but they were non-English. English copies are starting at like 460 and up. And that 460 is an individual person, whereas the other two are stores. And they're seeing there's just no availability of English stock. It's all foreign language now. There's nothing left. So it makes me wonder, number one, is it going to force the foreign languages up in price, right? But those who are going to be finicky and want English, are they going to be willing to pay that kind of price? I think they're going to. If they want a copy, they're going to buy it. There's only so many cards out there. And as new players get into Magic, and as non-Magic players start investing in Magic and buying this stock up, there's just no availability. There's nothing there to grab, which really shows in a card I'm going to show you in a few minutes. It blows your mind to realize there's just nothing there. And I find it very interesting when you see this kind of thing happen, where a card I paid $190 for in December 4th, jumps up to what you're seeing now, 35 days later, where it's like tripled in price, quadrupled in price. Just nuts. And last year in 2019, like August of 2019, Sarah Sanctum was $105. So it's just chunking up. And stuff like Gaia's Cradle hitting $1,000 is just wow. Okay? So our next one I want to show you guys, again, stuff's blowing my mind. We talked about Vulrat Stronghold. I had a couple of patrons ask about it, and I was getting into looking at it, and it just, kind of got busy. I did say it was a buy, though, because it's a decent land, no side effects. It's a decent card. It puts creatures on top. And you look here. I bought one, because the patron said I should get one, and I said, yeah, okay, I'm going to buy one. Put it on the credit card, $80. I'm still waiting for it. I'm tracking you. Where are you, Vulrat Stronghold? But near mint copy was $80. Now, take a look at that. Right? No, those are BGS copies, but even that English copy on the 27th went for $150. Now look what's for sale. English copies, $165, $165, $160. It's going up. It's doubled in price in 14 days. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. Because again, we're running out of English copies of these type of cards. And without English copies, those who are like finicky are willing to wait or are going to pay more. And I wonder, again, if the foreign language ones, the Portuguese, the Germans, Italian, I wonder if they're going to go up. Japanese, Chinese, are they going to start hitting new highs now? Where I would not usually mess with foreign cards. Like, I'm not going to buy any, so I'd be a more finicky buyer. But other people just say, I need a real card. I need something I can play in a tournament. I'm buying it. It's crazy to think about, right? Because those copies are still like $80, $90. But I wonder if they start getting bought out, if it's going to rise. It's crazy. But again, always check with your jeweler's loop. Always check the standard ways of making sure the card's real. But this card is going up, and there's not much we can do about it. Crazy. Goodbye. Thank you for the patron. Goodbye, buddy. Goodbye. All right. Sylvania Excavations is our running janky card here on the channel. I did recommend buying it because it's a decent card. Okay? I've always liked it. I had a couple copies, couple play sets myself, and then one of the guys was like, hey man, start buying it. I mentioned this in another video. It is starting to have results. The 4, 5, 6 copies we're buying, other people buy the odd copy that are not related to the channel, and you start seeing it starting to drift up. It's doubled in value in its 14-day period. It went from $7, $8 American all the way up to $15.99 American. So it's approaching its new highs just because of the simple things we're doing. And it shows that our channel has, what, a couple thousand people on it? If 1% all buy a couple of copies, it affects the entire world market. It just shows that there's not that many copies put up on the market right now. And the restock that I thought would be happening for these cards is not happening fast enough. And when they are, some people are like, oh, these cards are going crazy. I'm going to put it at a little bit higher than normal price. So it's really starting to show how it's affecting our market and how these cards are being dealt with as a whole, as an investment. Now, it has never been a better time to kind of get in, but I would pick cards that are like totally unknown. Pick some artifacts, because those are cards that are going to go up. Even from Fallen Empires or Homelands, pick some artifacts that are cheap. Even if they're like $1 or 50 cents, buy 4 copies. Keep them as an investment. You never know if it's going to go up, but at least you bought some of the reserve list, because at this point, it's going to cause a trickle-down effect to the lower-end cards till eventually somebody's like, that's all I can get, I'm going to get some. Keep it in mind. I'm telling you, crazy stuff. All right, and our last card today I wanted to mention, I know, and this one kind of blew my mind too. I have a little bit of a story for this one. My buddy, who's also one of my patrons, one of my viewers, he had picked this card up for us. He said, we got to have these in our legacy decks. How did we not know about this? I think they were like at $4 each. They were really cheap back then. Yogmos Will is an underrated card, always has been, and I remember it being $50, $60, you know. And look at it now, okay? What you're seeing there are the sold listings up until the 22nd of January. We're going to get to that, 22nd of January. Here are the copies for sale as of today in English. Okay, there's some non-English copies that are less, but those are the English copies. Those are the only ones for sale. This year ends on the 22nd because that's when the English copies ran out. No more English! Only foreign language ones available. Okay? Only foreign language. There are 2 English copies up on the market on eBay. TCG Player, most of them are like around the same range. It's expensive, guys. Now you're looking at Canadian prices. Always remember, I'm showing things on ebay.ca. You just got to take 25% off, and that's going to be your American price, 30% American price. But this is crazy to see. So an American price would still be like, what, $530? Like, wow. That is just blowing my mind for what we're seeing here in Canada. It is nuts to think about, guys, and it's a crazy price range to deal with. But this is where we're at. These cards are hitting new highs because we've always thought there's been some ebb and flow. But if investors come in and grab some, people are not related to Magic, and then Magic players still want them for Commander decks and for other builds, there's just none left. Especially in the English market, where cards have slowly like this have been gobbled up over the years into people's decks, into people's collections. There already kind of was a tight supply. Now it's even tighter. So this is just a sampling of what I wanted to show you guys today. It is getting crazy out there. But thank you so much for tuning in. I know my video went a little bit long today. I really appreciate those who stayed till the end. It really helps out the algorithm of how these things work. Thank you so much. And yes, we are getting closer. We're what, 80 subs away. 80 subs away from opening that Weatherlight box. I'm looking forward to it just like you guys are. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. MTG Moxman. We'll have a video out for Saturday, and I'll see the patrons and anybody else who wants to come. I'll see you on the live stream sometime, I guess Canada time. It'd be like what, like 7 o'clock at night? All right, guys, see you then. Looking forward to it. Have a great one. Hey guys, big shout out to all my patrons out there. Thank you so much for your continued support. I appreciate it. You guys are amazing every single day of the week and twice on Saturdays. Why not? All right, shop smart, shop S smart, and remember, Boomstick Edition is the way to go. Have a great one, guys.